Hi, I'm Patrick Tuttle, the real estate guy with Coldwell Banker Heritage and Legacy Management Services with your real estate market update for September 2023, where we're going to answer the question, how's the market? And I'll be right back with that answer. All right, so I'm back, and before we get started too far along, remember to hit that like and share button if you like the information that I'm sharing with you today, and hit subscribe so you'll get notified when we make new posts here on our YouTube channel or Facebook or wherever in the world you might be seeing this. So, on to our market report. Now, the data that we're using is from September of 2023. And we've got the active sales for, this is October, so we're going to use the October numbers to be accurate on that. So September 2023, we're going to start off with our resale homes. And what you can see is that our inventory has continued to grow. So we've gotten a little bit more on the market. And then our pending sales are down and our closed sales are down for the month of September as well. Specifically, we went down 12.6% year over year, 2023 versus 2022. Now I'm going to show you some more data about this in just a couple of minutes because this sounds like a doom and gloom type report. It's not. There's some good things that are happening here, and I'll show you that in just a second. But months of inventory up 70.5% from a month and 1.36 months of inventory last year to 2.32 months of inventory this year. And the average price continues to rise even though we've got the interest rates that are higher and the highest that we've seen in the last 5 years. I'll show you more about that in just a couple of minutes. Average size home is going down. I think that's part of that shrinkflation. As the prices go up, people are buying smaller homes just to be able to get into a home here in the El Paso market. Price per square foot is up 5.7% and days on market is up as well. And that's leading to what seems like a lagging market here in the residential real estate market, resale specific. Now, I wanted to look back and see how we've done over the past 10 years. And I actually went back to 2013 and I looked at the number of sales. So our September sales past 10 years, 2013, 351 sales. Now remember, we had 471 in the month of September 2023. And we think that the world's come to an end because it's so slow out there. Well, 10 years ago, it was 351 homes. 9 years ago, 366, 405, 417 in 2016, 434 in 2017. 2018 had 467 homes sold, and 2019, 466 sold. We've outpaced 7 of the last 10 years this year, and the sales are still pretty good. So if we just put it into context, now here's where it took off in 2020. That's the year that COVID took off, and we had the stimulus packages that came out in the summer of 2020. And look at that spike here. We had 684 sales. That was like a 25% increase in sales year over year. 2021, 686 sales, pretty much flat from the year before. 2022, we dropped off to 551 sales, and then this year down to 471, and the last time we saw numbers like that was back in 2019. So is the market bad? I don't think so. I think we're still selling a lot of homes when we can outpace 7 of the last 10 years in the market. So overall, I'm saying the market is still pretty good. Prices are continuing to rise because the demand is strong here in El Paso, despite the fact that we've got the high interest rates. So if we put this into context, I think we've got a really good report, and we ought to be happy. Those of us that are homeowners ought to be happy that we've got that going on. And those of you who are home buyers out there, realize that we're sitting on more inventory today than we've had in the past 3 years. You've got more choices today, and the market may shift a little bit. It's still going up in value. We saw that last month where we had that 7.8% appreciation through quarters 1 and quarters 2 of 2023. But you've got more homes to choose from, and as that inventory continues to rise, you'll probably have some falling prices, but maybe not overall, just because we were so short in inventory for such a long time. Okay, so let's put it into context. I think we're in a really good market. Now, on to the new homes report. New homes, we're also seeing that expanding line between the green available homes and the red sold down on the bottom. In fact, sales are down 30% year over year. Now, if you track this on a weekly basis, it gets better. We're actually showing that sales are flat on a weekly basis, but 30% down year over year. But remember, that takes into account the entire 12 months. So it's not as bad as it looks here on paper, digital paper that is. Months of inventory is up 30% year over year. Average price is up right at 10% to $334,279, and the average size of the home is down at 1.7%. Again, I said as those prices go up, the size of the house is going to go down because of the affordability factor. Because even though the price of the home went up, my paycheck didn't go up. The average person in El Paso didn't get big raises to the point of 30%, so they can't afford more home. So the builders are going to have to build smaller homes, and because of the cost of materials, they're going to have to give some incentives and things like that to make it sell. Now, I want to show you something that came to me on a WhatsApp group that I created several months ago. We've got a bunch of realtors in there and a bunch of builder reps that are in there, and this is what came over to me. You can't read the description here. We blocked out the names on it. We blocked out the builder and the floor plan. But this is a floor plan of a home, and what they're advertising is an 8% commission. Okay, so they're trying to sell this home because the inventory has gotten so big in many of these builders' pools that they're offering the realtors an 8% commission. That's 5 points over normal. That's huge. They're also offering the buyer up to 3% in closing cost contribution. That's most likely with their preferred lender. However, they may do that with an outside lender just to get the home off the books. They're offering a $15,000 buyer credit to do additional landscaping either in the front yard or the backyard or towards upgrades inside the house. Now, minus the 3% typical commission that you would earn on a sale, with that $346,950 purchase price, this builder is offering over $42,000 worth of incentives to get this home sold. Now, if that's not crazy, I don't know what is, because that's over 10% off the list price that they're offering to get this home sold. And I asked the question of, hey, why not just drop the price and stimulate the market on doing that? But that's a builder issue. The builder will have to ask that question. But when you look at this, if this is what they're doing to sell the homes, if you're in the market to buy a home, this is where you ought to be looking, because the builders have inventory and they're making deals right now, and you ought to be able to go in and structure something that works for you for your life changes. Because remember, that's what the market is driven by, life changes. Marriages, divorce, people having babies, kids moving off to college, any kinds of things like that. It could be a death in the family. There are lots of reasons why the market moves. Job transfers into and out of El Paso. It's not all about the interest rates, which drove the market back in 2021 and 2022. So here today, we have to deal with the market of the moment. And the market of the moment says that the builders, they're ready to deal. And they've got some deals out there to be had. All we have to do is go out and take a look at those and see those new homes. They're gorgeous, and they've got everything you could want. You've got quartz countertops. You've got upgraded lighting fixtures. You've got upgraded flooring fixtures. You've got landscaping in the front. $15,000 for whatever you want to do with it. Buy the rates down if that's what you want to do. If it's the interest that's holding you back, go buy the rate down. Ask for the deal, and they'll probably give it to you on the finished inventory that they've got, because of the fact that they want to get these things off the book, especially as we're in quarter 4, and they want to get them off the books before the end of the year. So that's my pitch on the new home market. Now, current mortgage and refinance rates. So 7.598% interest rate is the 30-year fixed as of yesterday. This came off of Zillow. So you can see that circle there that gives you 20-year fixed at 7.607. And then down into the ARMs, you can see a little bit more discount here for a 5-year ARM at 7.495. However, this next slide shows a 5-year ARM at 8.123, 8 and a 12. How did we get there? I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal because you're probably not going to do a 5-year ARM unless you know you're only going to be here in El Paso for a very short time. Does the ARM make sense? But this one doesn't when it compares to the nationwide average. But again, go to the mortgage companies and talk to them about how you can get a buy down. And even on the resale homes, talk to the sellers to see if you can get some closing costs to where you can buy those rates down. Index returns, the S&P 500 was down almost 5% in the last month, and the Dow Jones average was at negative 3.5. So again, I like real estate because it's what I do. It's how I help people into home. And Maslow said shelter was one of the things that we need. He didn't say we needed stock accounts. So if we can get shelter, get a roof over your head, that's a great thing. Now, a couple of articles. This is an article that came in from Inman News, and it was about homebuyer pessimism in the month of September. But remember the numbers that I just showed you about going back to 2013. We're still in a very good market compared to the last 10 years, but this says that 84% of Americans said that it was a bad time to buy a home, and we had an increase, a 2023 high of 7.63% on mortgage rates, and that was according to the Optimal Blue Mortgage Market Indices. Yes, interest rates are high compared to where we were last year, the year before, the year before. Historically, not so much. My first home was at 7.25%. Yes, this is higher than that, but that was 28 years ago. It was a long time ago. And the banks have to make money to stay in business. And at some point you can refinance and you can get a lower rate. Another headline we saw was about fallout. Now this is the thing that concerns me the most, is that Joe and Mary buyer go in and they put a contract on a home, and then before they get to closing, or maybe it's during the option period or something like that, they choose to cancel that contract for whatever reason. NAR is reporting that in the month of August, 15.7% of buyers canceled their contract midstream and did not go all the way to closing. Now here in El Paso, over the last 4 weeks, we were at 32%. And by the way, that 32% here in El Paso, that's pretty much average for what I see. I track this on a weekly basis, and our fallout rate over the last 4 weeks was a low of 24% and a high of 38%. For an average of 32.4%. We're still seeing people put contracts on home and change midstream because either they didn't get the concessions that they wanted, they didn't get the refrigerator that they wanted, may have been the interest rate that they did, or maybe they lost their job and they just couldn't afford it. There are many reasons for the fallout, but this is something that we've got to watch. And if you're a seller in today's market and you're in an area where there's a lot of inventory, or a price range in which there's a lot of inventory, pay attention to what the buyers want. You're not in the same market that you were in 2 years ago, and you may have to make concessions to get things sold so that you can move on with your life, because you had a life change and you need to make a deal to get it done. Other price points, maybe not so much, especially $250 and below. Pretty much anywhere in town, especially in West El Paso, you're going to sell, and you're probably going to have multiple offers, and you're in the driver's seat. But as you get closer to that 500 mark and above, you're probably going to need to pay attention to what the buyers are wanting. So watch that fallout rate. Unemployment rate, still, it's good, but we did have an uptick. We're up about 5% here in the El Paso market right now. And our 3 key takeaways this month. Number 1, we're still in an appreciating market despite the higher than usual interest rates. So we thought that the prices would come down, but we're still seeing the increase in prices and increase in the interest rates. Number 2, mortgage applications, all-time low. So Q3, Q4, the applications have gone down because we're comparing today's market to the market of 2021 and 2022, and some of that in 2020 before the market went down all the way. And then number 3, September 2023 sales outpaced 7 of the last 10 years of sales data. So we're still in a very good market, and I think that's the brightest point of our overall report here, is that we're still selling a lot of homes, and a lot of people are moving to El Paso. They're moving around El Paso. We've got a good job market. We've got industry expanding all around us. I think it's a great place to be. It's a great time to be an El Pasoan, and if we can serve you, whether you're moving in, moving out, moving around El Paso, we'd love to do that in one way or another. You can reach me on my cell at 915-588-1850. Text, call me, hit me up on Facebook, make comments here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere online. We'd be happy to hear from you and see how we can assist you in your home needs. Thanks for watching. That's our report for today. God bless you and make it a great day. Bye-bye.